And good morning. Today is Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. I am Steve O.C. I'm Stephen C. And you are at Steve O.C.'s at 11 a.m. Central Time. This is a TikTok Live in which we take a look at the Course in Miracles, in which we look at the lesson of the day, the workbook lesson of the day from the Course in Miracles, and then also review a corresponding section of the text from the Course in Miracles, the premier number one text of the hidden the hidden teachings of esoteric Christianity, if you will. I do this every morning at 11 a.m. Central Time. If you miss the live, please go to my YouTube channel. The link for the YouTube channel is in my bio on TikTok, or you can search at Steve O.C.'s on YouTube, and you can see the first 81 lessons from the Course in Miracles. Today is March 23rd, Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. And so we will be looking at lesson 82 from the Course. It is part of the review of lessons 60 through 80. But let's begin by reading the introduction to the Course. And this is how the Course begins. This is the introduction to the text. And thank you, Catherine, for the likes. Please hit the like button. Follow this account if you are interested in discussions about spirituality, esoteric subjects, the laws of metaphysics, the Hermetic laws. We talk about all of those subjects here on this channel, on this account. So please follow along, and let's begin with the introduction to the Course, which says, this is a Course in Miracles. It is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. The Course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. This Course can therefore be summed up very simply in this way. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And so that is how we begin each session here, taking a look at the Course in Miracles. As it says in that introduction, this is a universal curriculum. What is meant by a universal curriculum? And that it is a required course. Well, here we are in this world, as the Course says, as the text says. We are in this world. We are in this dream. We are part of an illusion of death, suffering, pain, and seeming separation from God, separation from perfect health, separation from our wealth, our abundance, our prosperity. And that illusion, the Course says, is the basic problem. And that illusion produced by a insane thought system. That illusion produced by incorrect thought, the creation of images and idols that are not the true thought system of God we have forgotten who and what we are, according to the Course in Miracles. And so it is necessary to dispose of, undo the thought system under which we operate, which is producing from within us to the picture that we see outside of us. Those conditions that seem to represent death and destruction and division and all those fearful words, right? So the Course says we've created a thought system of fear when the only real thought system, when the thought system of reality is a thought system of love, peace, happiness, joy, and fulfillment. Thank you for the likes there. Jonathan Wright is in the house today. Nice to see you, Jonathan. Thank you for stopping by. Jonathan is one of our regulars here. Please go check out Jonathan's channel. Good to be here, Jonathan says. Yes, it is. And thanks for being here, everyone. Please join Jonathan. Please join Mr. Wright. Yes, that's right. He's Mr. Wright. Please join him in hitting the like button. Follow this account if you do not already follow it, and follow the same account on YouTube and all the other social platforms as we talk about the truth, okay? As we talk about all those things that will return us to our natural inheritance, as the introduction has just said. So we're now in a review period, 10-day stretch in which we review the last 20 lessons. So we went 1 through 50, did a 10-day review. Then we went 60 through 80. Now we're doing another 10-day review. So Sunday, March 23rd, this is the 82nd day of the year. After we look at the review for the day, then we will go to the text and check out the corresponding text in chapter 10. And let's look at the introduction real quick. It says we're ready for another review. The earlier part of the day will be devoted to the first of the ideas, the latter part of the day to the second idea. And it suggests a longer practice period in the morning and then another practice period in the evening. And the idea is to discipline the mind. The Course reminds us that we're a little bit scatterbrained. It's difficult for us to focus. Our mind is undisciplined. In fact, the ego mind, the mind of the personality, is very easily distracted, and in fact has invented many subjects, many things to worry about, many things to think about, many intrusive thoughts with which it hopes to cover up our true thoughts, hide our true thoughts from us. Yes, there is an active component in our mind that is an antagonist that opposes us in our recognition of the truth. Of course, constantly points that out, and so it asks us to engage in exercises in order to understand the curriculum, in order to apply the curriculum. And so here it is suggesting 2 longer practice periods, one in the morning, one in the evening, about 15 minutes long. And it says the longer practice periods should follow this general form. Take about 15 minutes for each of them. Begin by thinking about the ideas for the day and the comments that are included with them. Devote 3 or 4 minutes to reading over them slowly. several times if you wish, then close your eyes and listen. Be still and know. So a little meditation, right, for 3 or 4 minutes. Then repeat the first phase of the exercise period if you find your mind wandering. Try to spend the major part of the time listening quietly but attentively. There is a message waiting for you. Be confident you will receive it. Remember, it belongs to you and that you want it. Those other thoughts that go along with the practicing, that we will be successful, that we are not being coerced into doing something, but that we are engaging in an activity that we wish to engage in, exercises that we wish to engage in for our mind, to keep our minds sharp, fulfilled, focused, filled with light, as we will soon see with those ideas for the day. It says, regard these practice periods as dedications to the way, the truth, and the life. This is why the workbook has been set up this way. It says, refuse to be sidetracked into detours, illusions, and thoughts of death. Any intrusive thoughts, any thoughts of worry, any thoughts that cause even the slightest bit of agitation or irritation, right? Because the ego mind, the personality mind, the mind that is deceptive, is deception itself, right, will give us little tidbits and little minor inconveniences, right? The Course says those minor, mild irritations are simply covers for basically volcanic rage, for complete rage, hatred, right? Because the ego mind, which is deceptive, inventive, subtle, full of disinformation and misinformation, right? You have perfect, if you understand the function of the intelligence agencies and in our world externally. The world externally is a reflection of the internal world. So not only our individualized internal world, but the collective internal world, which is one. The intelligence agencies are a great metaphor or symbol for the way that ego mind operates. Okay? Full of misinformation, disinformation, lies, subversions, overthrows of legitimate governments, of legitimate thoughts, right? A perfect symbol. And so we want to refuse to be sidetracked into those detours and illusions, into those deceptions, right? The Holy Spirit does not even see them. The Holy Spirit does not get involved. Resist not evil means we're going to look right past them. They cannot affect us. Illusions, dreams, and figures in the dream cannot affect us. We are thoughts in the mind of God, eternal thoughts in the mind of God. I am as God created me, the Course says. Nothing has changed. In truth, in reality, nothing has changed. You are still perfect, whole, and complete. I am still perfect, whole, and complete. We are still one with creation, one with the Father, one with perfection. We have not been hurt, harmed, or endangered ever. Those thoughts, those experiences, which, yes, seem very real, and we are all subject to them, ultimately are illusions and hallucinations thrown up on the screen of our experience by the mind and by the part of the mind that wants to obscure the truth from us, our true nature from us. So we're engaged in a little play here, a movie. It's true. We're in a movie. I often see people say that. Comments, uh, even content on social media platforms, and people say, man, it's like, am I watching a movie? Yes, you're not only watching it, you're soaking in it. You're in it. Three-dimensional, four-dimensional space, space and time, time and space, in which you are participating. So, don't panic, right? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, don't panic. Or the Bible, fear not, for I have overcome the world, fear not. There is a state of mind, there is a state of consciousness that is entirely unaffected by the machinations of the ego mind. So you are dedicated to salvation. Be determined each day not to leave your function unfulfilled. Reaffirm your determination in the shorter practice periods as well, using the original form of the idea for general applications and more specific forms when needed. Some specific forms are included in the comments which follow the statement of the ideas. These, however, are merely suggestions. It is not the particular words you use that matter. So that is the introduction to the 20 lessons, the 10 sets of 2 lessons that we're following for the next 10 days, for the next 9 days now. We started yesterday with this review. So lesson 82 today says, we will review these ideas today. Originally, lesson 63, the light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. The light of the world. Yesterday, we said, I am the light of the world. So the light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. And yesterday, we said, my function as the light of the world is forgiveness. Now, it's asking us to realize that that thought, that idea, the idea of forgiveness and the light is extended to everyone and everything. It is extended to the world. So I have forgiven the world. The world cannot hurt me. The world has never hurt me. And that idea of forgiveness, as I've said many times, as I've often said, the word forgiveness is used in has a specific definition in the Course in Miracles. So you can go to the glossary of terms in the Manual for Teachers, which is the third portion of the entire text. Third portion called the Manual for Teachers. You can also find it online if you do not have a copy of the book at acim.org. Look it up. Search for the word forgiveness, go to the glossary of terms, and check out what it says forgiveness is according to the Course in Miracles. Okay, forgiveness is the final illusion, is one of the definitions it gives. And forgiveness is, I am forgiving my brother for something that has not occurred. Right? Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. That harm, that hurt, that suffering, the pain, at a very deep level, at a very high vibration, all of these things are illusions. They're part of a dream. So this says, my forgiveness is the means by which the light of the world finds expression through me. The light of the world is an aspect of my being, an aspect of my consciousness. I'm here to represent it. The light of the world is peace, joy, happiness, fulfillment, love. all those good things. My forgiveness is the means by which I become aware of the light of the world in me. My forgiveness is the means by which the world is healed together with myself. Let me then forgive the world that it may be healed along with me. Suggestions for specific forms for applying this idea are, and there's 3 suggestions. Let peace extend from my mind to yours, blank. Okay, let peace extend from my mind to yours. And then put a name in there of someone you're thinking of. I share the light of the world with you, blank. Put a name in there. Or through my forgiveness, I can see this as it is. Right? So anytime, anywhere, I can look outside of myself or I can look within myself and I can say, through my forgiveness, I can see this as it is. Through my forgiveness, I can see the truth of this situation. Through my forgiveness, I can see this as it is in the mind of God. So, the light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness is the first idea. Then there's some suggestions there, supplemental, complementary ideas that supplement and support the first idea. The second phrase, the second mantra, the second idea is let me not forget my function. Okay. So part of the practice also is remembering what to forget, forgetting what I need to forget, and remembering what I want to remember. I want to remember the truth. I want to remember who and what I am. I want to know myself. And I want to know who you are. Because we are one. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same being. It's the same beingness. Right? So let me not forget my function. I would not forget my function because I would remember myself, capital S. I cannot fulfill my function if I forget it. What am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I a waiter? Am I a server in a restaurant? Am I an accountant, a teacher? Am I a politician? Am I a handyman? Am I a heating and air conditioning guy? Or am I the light of the world? All those specific things, all those things we identify ourselves with in the world are functions of the ego. Let me not forget my function. Yeah, well, certainly I want to remember to go to work or remember who my significant other is or who that special person is who, I certainly don't want to forget that from an ego perspective, but I do want to certainly remember who I really am. And I really want to know myself, know the truth of myself. So I would not forget that function because I would remember myself, capital S. I cannot fulfill my function if I forget it. And unless I fulfill my function, I will not experience the joy that God intends for me. My function is forgiveness. I told myself that yesterday, and certainly since I repeated it all day long, I haven't forgotten that. Suitable specific forms of this idea include let me not use this to hide my function from me. Let me not use this situation. Let me not use this person that's in front of me to hide my function from me. Let me not use this as a reason to forget my function, to obscure my function, to hide it from myself. I would use this as an opportunity to fulfill my function. And This may threaten my ego, but cannot change my function in any way. Okay, so always a polarity there, a duality. So if we have eaten of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that implies a duality, good and evil, light and dark, within and without, male and female, etc., etc., etc. I want to forget the one, remember the other, or realize really how they go together, how they are complementary parts of a transcendent whole, right? How light and darkness work together, how good and evil work together. I do not know what the light is unless it is contrasted with darkness. If I'm in the light, and I've always been in the light, and that is the only condition I've ever known or seen, like a fish in water, I don't know. That's the environment that I'm in, right? Till I get thrown up into the boat or up on the dock, unless I'm a fish out of water, I don't really begin to understand that I've been in the water until I can't breathe, right? When I'm out of the water. In a similar fashion, as an analogy, I don't know what the light is until I've experienced the darkness. Right? So Abraham Hicks says, Esther Hicks says, I do not know what I want until I experience what I do not want. Then I can make a choice. And once I make the initial choice and the final choice, the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end, once I understand they're one and there is only one choice, then I've gone from the light into the darkness, back to the light. Then I've completed the entire circle, right? Then I am the alpha and the omega. That is the Ouroboros. That is the snake biting its own tail. That's the circle, a symbol of completion, right? 12 hours, 24 hours, one cycle. Or if you draw it like this, it's a sine wave, up, down, up, down. You put the sine wave together, it's a circle, right? Slide it together or separate it. Great illustration there, Stephen. Well done. So, those are the two phrases for today to be reviewed. Think about it in the morning, think about it at night before I go to bed. Meditate for 15 or 20 minutes on that. The light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. That's called extending the truth in the Course in Miracles. And let me not forget my function. Let me not forget why I'm here, what's going on, what's up. So, a corresponding, the corresponding text. Thanks for sharing the live, LR. Thank you for sharing it, Jonathan. Thank you for liking the live. That helps. Okay, with the algorithm, of course, it helps distribute it, helps more and more people see this. Join the discussion, the more, the merrier. Wherever two or more gathered, there I am. There the Christ consciousness is. And we want everyone here shining the light with us, as many people as possible, right? want to share this message, extend this message, share this vibration, extend this vibration. Want to get together, gather, become a community. I was with some friends last night. An old high school friend got this magnificent slot car track in his basement. Wow, it was Christmas all over again last night. There must have been 15 people there last night racing slot cars. Unbelievable. Took 6 hours. To go through all the matchups. I was wondering when it was going to end. But great community, great experience. That's all it is. That's what it's about. Enjoy yourself, have fun, share fun things with other people like this live. So thanks, LR, and thanks, Jonathan. Now we're going to chapter 10, the idols of sickness. Woo. Right? And section 5, the denial of God. Okay? Denial is not just a river in Egypt. The denial of God. So it does outline in the course the darkness, the negative aspect, right? What has bound us, how we have imprisoned ourselves in our own minds with our own thinking, the power of the mind, the power of our shared collective consciousness has made this world, the course says, right? And since we cannot completely separate ourselves from the mind of God, we are actually in the mind of God. We get nature and all the rest of it, so it is a mixed bag, so to speak. We want to bring heaven to earth, on earth as it is in heaven. Right now it's a mixed bag. We've eaten of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and we want to stop eating that fruit, quit taking bites from that apple, and get back to the tree of life, and only the tree of life, right? That's why that other tree was forbidden in the Garden of Eden. As a metaphor, let's look at it as a metaphor. I want to stop taking bites from that poison apple, that mixed bag. Stop reaching into that mixed bag, pulling out serpents, fruit and serpents, and just go to the tree of life. Forget about death, which is what, again, the course reminds us of. We've made up a world in which we perceive death, sickness, misfortune. Okay, we got a little bit off track there. We wandered away from our Father's house, and now that we're eating the husks of life, now that we've become slaves to our own thinking, to our own thought system, we would like to return to the Father's house. Okay, get back the ring, cloak, the feast, the banquet. Like to return to our Father's house, where we are the Son in whom He is well pleased. So the denial of God, the rituals of the god of sickness are strange and very demanding. Joy is never permitted, for depression is the sign of allegiance to Him. So the God of sickness does not allow joy. It's never permitted. Never. Never. Right? For depression is the sign of allegiance to him. Right? That is the coin of the realm, depression, which is a form, a diminished form of death, a small death, a little death. Right? Depression means that you have forsworn God, sworn off God, dismissed God. Many are afraid of blasphemy, but they do not understand what it means. They do not realize that to deny God is to deny their own identity, capital I. And in this sense, the wages of sin is death. So sin, right? Sin, Latin or Spanish, means without, outside of God. Sin, or the other analogy that is used is as an archery term. Sin means missing the mark, but sin, trying to think of my Spanish right now. I don't know. Sin contentado. Without happiness, sin contentado. I don't know. Sorry. But sin means without, outside of. The wages of sin, the pay for depression, is death. The real form of depression is death. Depression is just a temporary, diminished form of death. The sense is very literal, it says. Denial of life perceives its opposite, as all forms of denial replace what is with what is not. So sin also means what is not. I am not. I am or I am not. No one can really do this. Fine print. There's the fine print. No one can really do this, not in reality. But that you think you can and believe you have is beyond dispute, right? So that's the old, what I like to call the old slap in the face that the Zen master gives the student right there. It is in the course. The sense of death, the wages of sin is death. The sense is very literal. Denial of life perceives its opposite. All forms of denial replace what is with what is not. No one can really do this. That you think you can and believe you have is beyond dispute. Sorry, you lose. So we're just going to admit that and move on. Admit it. We're going to laugh at it. We're going to laugh at our own silliness to believe that we can change what God created. We cannot change what God created except in a dream, as part of a dream or part of an illusion. So we're just going to spiritually have a little spiritual chuckle. We're going to laugh at ourselves, okay? No big deal. Do not forget, however, that to deny God will inevitably result in projection, and you will believe that others and not yourself have done this to you. The Course calls this projection, right? And then it gets mirrored back, but that I think my brother is trying to steal God from me, trying to take God from me. If God is peace and you are taking my peace from me, see, I've projected, because you cannot take my peace from me. I can only hand it over to you. I can hand you my peace. I can give you my peace and allow frustration and irritation and anger to take its place, but you can't really take it from me unless I let you. So you must receive the message you give because it is the message you want. You may believe that you judge your brothers by the messages they give you, but you have judged them by the message you give to them. You've judged them already. So it starts here, it's projected, then it gets reflected back. And the ego, the deceptive ego, the personality, persona, the mask, right? Part I won't admit to, my shadow, projects it and then forgets about that part and then thinks it's out there. You're the problem, buddy. You're the problem. See, that projection then gets wiped from the record. More chicanery from the intelligence agencies. Intelligence, right? Start shredding those records immediately. I project it, I project the shadow, then I say it doesn't belong to me. I wipe the hard drive, doesn't exist anymore. Now you're the problem. Okay, then that gets reflected back to me. So again, it's a circle, and I'm eliminating and forgetting the part I don't want to remember, what Jung calls the shadow. I'm forgetting that part, that it starts here, that it started here. Do not attribute your denial of joy to them, or you cannot see the spark in them that would bring joy to you. See, so there's the rub. There's the rub. It is the denial of the spark that brings depression. For whenever you see your brothers without it, you are denying God. So 2 paragraphs there, and you can go to chapter 10, section 5, reread it for yourself, study it, go over it, check it out. It's really good stuff. Really sets it up nicely there until it comes to the end here. I'm denying the spark that's within me because I won't see it in you. And whenever I don't see it in you, I'm denying it in myself. Not smart, not intelligent, as my teacher tells me. Not intelligent. You'd much rather be intelligent. It's much better to just figure it out, admit it, figure it out, and then let the Holy Spirit heal it. Let the Holy Spirit fix it. Allegiance to the denial of God is the ego's religion. The God of sickness, the ego, obviously demands the denial of health because health is in direct opposition to its own survival. So the ego is sickness. And again, go to the back of the book, look up the word ego as it's used in this text, because, of course, in psychology and in the world will tell us. Also, you can check out Krishnamurti. Check out, Krishnamurti talking on this app and other apps. Just search Krishnamurti, because he says, is it really healthy? The idea of psychology is to get the ego, which is our sense of self, but it's the limited self, it's the little self, which most psychology doesn't admit to. Jung admits it, which is why many people will reject Jung. But if you're talking to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, they may suggest to you that to develop a healthy ego, which is conforming to the social system, which is conforming to the culture. And Krishnamurti says, what good is it to conform to the culture, to become acceptable to the social system, if the social system is insane? So Krishnamurti was saying that 30, 40, 50 years ago. He hit that old nail on the head. And so it's also saying it right here in the text of the Course in Miracles, because, of course, and many other spiritual texts, spiritual teachings also say the same thing, of course, because it's a perennial philosophy. It's the ancient wisdom. It is what it is. It is esoteric Christianity. Just started using that phrase a little bit more. This is the esoteric Christianity. This is the inner teaching of Christ. And it's recorded, it's in the Bible too, because Jesus is telling his disciples, he even tells his disciples, I don't think you guys are hearing me. I don't think you guys really hear what I'm saying. I'm going to send you a comforter. I'm going to send you an interpreter, the Holy Spirit, right? First, they ask him, why do you keep teaching in parables? And he says, the response is, well, everyone then receives it at the level of their understanding. And let those with ears hear, let those with eyes see. And then later, he's telling them, hey guys, sometimes I don't think you're getting the whole message here. Or in the Garden of Gethsemane, he says, sit here, stay awake while I go pray. And he comes back and they're all sawing logs. They're all asleep. He says, what's wrong with you guys? Couldn't you stay awake for an hour? While I was over there sweating bullets, while I was over there praying like a maniac that I don't have to go through with this little test that's in front of me. Right? So it is what it is, right? That is the initiate's curriculum. That is the curriculum. That is the Course in Miracles. So, allegiance to the denial of God is the ego's religion. The God of sickness obviously demands the denial of health. They're opposites, because health is in direct opposition to its own survival. But consider what this means to you. Unless you are sick, you cannot keep the gods you made, for only in sickness could you possibly want them. Blasphemy, then, is self-destructive, not God-destructive. It means that you are willing not to know yourself in order to be sick. This is the offering your God demands, because having made him out of your insanity, he is an insane idea. So the ego is a hallucination. It is an insane idea. It is sickness. It is poverty. It is lack. It is depression, as it said earlier. It is death. The ego is the idea of death, right? So just transfer that, raise that concept up a little bit, and ego death is what we're looking for. Now, the Holy Spirit does not attack anything. The Holy Spirit does not kill ego. The ego is not extinguished. The ego is harnessed in support then of the higher thought system, in support then of God, because the Holy Spirit does not destroy anything we made in our ignorance, anything we produced in our ignorance. The Holy Spirit adapts it, changes it, transforms it, transcends it, and points it in the right direction, reinterprets it, the Course says. The ego, the God of sickness, has many forms, but although he may seem to be many different things, he is but one idea, the denial of God. And therefore it says this Course is very simple. You have one problem. There's one problem. There's one solution. You've denied God, whether you think so or not, because here you are, witnessing to sickness and death. You're seeing it with your eyeballs, which were created to look at it. And so they're working just as they've been, just as you and I have designed them. Just as I've designed them, my eyes are working to search out death and destruction, and they find it all the time. Now, let me use denial properly. The course also says, I'm not sure it says it in this section, but it said, but as I just said, the Holy Spirit then takes the denial of God and makes it the denial of the denial, which gets us back to truth. So it denies the denial, which equals truth. It denies the separation. The separation never occurred. So it takes the function of the mind that I have made, denial of God, turns it around and denies the denial, which leaves me back where I started. I said before that of yourself you can do nothing, but you are not of yourself. If you were, what you have made would be true and you could never escape. It is because you did not make yourself that you need be troubled over nothing. Fear not. Your gods are nothing because your Father did not create them. You cannot make creators who are unlike your Creator, capital C, any more than he could have created a son who was unlike him. If creation is sharing, it cannot create what is unlike itself. It can share only what it is. Depression is isolation. And so it could not have been created. Son of God, you have not sinned. Okay. Course defines sin as a permanent condition. And it says you have not sinned. This is not permanent. The condition I find myself in is not permanent. Rejoice, be glad, fear not. You have been much mistaken. Yet this can be corrected, and God will help you, knowing that you could not sin against him. You denied him. Oh, this is good right here. This is real good. You denied him because you loved him, knowing that if you recognized your love for him, you could not deny him. Did you catch that? You denied him because you loved him. I denied God because I loved him, knowing that if I recognized or remembered my love for him, I could not deny him. Right? So we're here proving on a grand scale at a very deep level, dreams within dreams, that no matter how hard I try to deny God, it can't be done. Because it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And finally I go, well, I've had enough of this. Then I remember. Case closed. Game over. Turn out the lights, right? The party's over. We're going home. Forget about it. Remember that what you deny, you must have once known. And if you accept denial, you can accept its undoing. That's that circle again. We end up where we started. We're going right back to where we started. Your Father has not denied you. He does not retaliate. But he does call you to return. When you think he has not answered your call, you have not answered his. He calls to you from every part of the sonship because of his love for his son. If you hear his message, he has answered you, and you will learn of him if you hear aright. The love of God is in everything he created, for his son is everywhere. Look with peace upon your brothers, and God will come rushing into your heart in gratitude for your gift to him. So where we started today, that my function is forgiveness. When I forgive myself, when I forgive you, which is the same thing, no matter what you're doing, no matter what I think you're doing, no matter who I think you are, if I forgive it, if I look past it, if I know it's not really there, that's actually a gift to God. Then God returns the gift in gratitude. That's what the Course is saying here. Look with peace upon your brothers. Don't condemn anyone or anything. Let it be. It's okay. You're not in charge. I'm not in charge. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. We're just helping each other remember. That's all. Right? We're just reminding each other. How do I get to your house again? Where do you live again? Oh yeah, that's right. Let's go. Do not look to the God of sickness for healing, but only to the God of love, for healing is the acknowledgement of him. When you acknowledge him, you will know that he has never ceased to acknowledge you, and that in his acknowledgement of you lies your being. You are not sick, and you cannot die. Boom! But you can confuse yourself with things that do. That's the problem right there. One problem, one solution. Just confused, just got a little bit confused there. I thought I could die. I thought I was my body. Turns out, not true. Got a little confused there. And I need help to correct it because of the power of the mind. I've convinced myself. I've so thoroughly conditioned my own thought incorrectly that I need help undoing that thought system. And that's what this entire book, this entire text, that's what the Bible is about. Take it or leave it. Eventually, you will take it. As it says in the introduction, this is a Course in Miracles. It's a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. So take it or leave it. That's your only choice. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. Once I understand that, once I start to, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense, then I'm really on the right track. Then it will unfold of its own accord. It will start making more and more sense. It will become perfectly sensible, perfectly understandable. May take some time, may not take any time. It's up to you. Only the eternal can be loved, for love does not die. What is of God is his forever, and you are of God. Would he allow himself to suffer? And would he offer his son anything that is not acceptable to him? Right? In the Bible, it said, if you asked your father for bread, would he give you a stone? Right? So, and I am going to skip to the end here. So I'm maybe skipping 3-4 paragraphs here because my 60 minutes are up under the auspices of TikTok. Remember, every day at 11 a.m., we're having this discussion. If you missed the discussion during the day, if you have time, you can go to YouTube. I'll upload it over there. You can see what the discussion was about. There's 81 episodes over there already. There will eventually be 365. So go check it out. Just click through them, spin the wheel, see what comes up, see what the Holy Spirit wants you to hear. So last paragraph here, very quickly. 2-minute warning, 5-minute warning here. Arrogance is the denial of love because love shares and arrogance withholds. Arrogance belongs to the ego mind, right? The little self, the littleness, the pettiness, arrogance. As long as both appear to you to be desirable, the concept of choice, which is not of God, will remain with you. Time and space will remain with us. Time is to be used in the service of eternity. Time is to be used to figure out the truth. Once you've figured out the truth, time will end. That's how the Course puts it. Deep. This is This is it right here. I mean, you know, every time I read it, which has been many times, deeper, 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 more meaningful, becomes more meaningful, more applicable. While this is not true in eternity, there's a choice. It is true in time, so that while time lasts in your mind, there will be choices. Time itself is your choice. Woo! If you would remember eternity, you must look only on the eternal. If you allow yourself to become preoccupied with the temporal, you are living in time, right? That's the distractions we were talking about when we were going through the workbook lessons. Time and eternity cannot both be real because they contradict each other. If you will accept only what is timeless as real, you will begin to understand eternity and you will begin to understand eternity and make it yours. So, that last sentence there, if you will accept only what is timeless as real, you will begin to understand eternity and make it yours. So, that is Chapter 10, Section 5, the denial of God. So, thanks everyone for being here. Jonathan, thank you for being here. I see a couple other people have hung out for a while. Oh, another Jonathan. John Little. Thanks for being here, John Little. Thank you. Jonathan Wright. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. It's always good to see you guys. And every day, 11 a.m. Central Time. We go for about 60 minutes. And you can find it all on YouTube. So the link's in the bio. Follow the account. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for listening. And peace and blessings to you. That's all for today. I will talk to you soon. Love you. Have a great day. Take care. Enjoy those basketball games, huh?